Everybody, welcome to the 53rd episode of the Danfonce Talks Metal. Yes, I changed the name because I had to make it look like all my other socials. But anyway, welcome. I have the guys in Imperial Triumphant with me. I have Zach, Steve, and Kenny. Stoked to have you guys here. We've been working.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks so much, Dan.
Yeah, I'm stoked on this, man. No, they are not wearing their masks. We tricked you.
Come on now.
Come on. You think they want to wear those off stage? What's going on?
You want to see the mascot? Buy a ticket.
Buy a ticket, and then you'll see it all. You'll get the full experience of Imperial Triumphant.
Precisely.
Exactly.
Tickets should be available like 2026. I think.
Yeah, I think I'm almost done booking that 2026 tour for you guys. Hey, we're getting back to it.
Oh yeah,
I'm stoked on it. You know, long break, and it was a nice vacation. I feel like, this planned vacation that we just had was great. I think the music industry and bands needed a year and a half off. We never get a break anyway. The only fucking break I ever get is like Christmas, and I'm like,
oh man,
yeah,
like 20 years of vacation time crammed, cumulative into 1 year.
Until one,
and precise.
Yeah, exactly. At first I was like, this is nice, and now I'm like, okay, can we work now? It's even like during Christmas, like we have like music industry will shut down for like 2 weeks, and like after like a week or like the day after Christmas, I'm like, all right, well, can we finish this tour? I'm like in the middle of booking shit. I'm like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the guys, but I think like when you get off tour, you're like, oh God, I need to like unwind, like I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And then like 5 days later, you're like, I need to get back on the road. I'm fucking sick of this.
I'm sick of being home.
Like, I'm relaxed enough. Okay, back to work.
How do you guys like touring? Are you guys all like, when you go out on tour, do you love it? What do you hate about it?
Well, touring it's not the most comfortable existence,
No, I think the shows make up for the uncomfortableness.
The shows make up for it, and I like hanging out with these two guys actually, so it works out. It works out well. Like once we're out there, we kind of just get into our own universe, and that's the really cool part.
Yeah,
you're sort of off of the grid in one sense.
You are.
I love touring, man. It's just like kind of simplifies your whole life. Like all you need to worry about, you have like 5 responsibilities. You just need to like get to the gig, play a great show. Don't
lose anything.
Don't get any of your lose anything. Don't get any of your shit stolen.
Yeah.
Find a bathroom,
and then like get to the hotel and get some sleep,
exactly,
and take care of your health, whatever. Like,
that's
all you need to do for 30 days in a row. Like, it's so simple. And like, I love that. And like Steve said, like the sesh is so real.
Yeah, you get into some cool conversations. Like when you're in the middle of nowhere,
oh dude,
5 hours into a drive, and you're just kind of off time, and
and just meeting like people everywhere you go. There's always
cool fans.
Yeah, or people you meet at fucking truck stops, gas stations, hotels.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not talking to anyone at truck stops.
Hey man, you in a band? You look like you're in a band.
Oh my God, so many of those.
Is that your guys' van and trailer? You guys in a band?
Yeah.
The most typical shit ever. All the fucking
y'all in
time.
A band? Y'all from New York?
What are you doing out here?
They always ask you like, where are you playing? Like they're gonna come,
And then you tell them where you're playing, and they're like, "Where's that at?"
Or they're like, "Oh, that's too far." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
I'm sorry.
Well, it's usually because we're like in hour 3 or 4
of a 7-hour
drive. So it's like, the guy doesn't understand the gig is 150 miles away.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not playing at this particular gas station.
Next time we'll play at the Love's gas station truck stop for you.
I mean, touring is really the best way to kind of do the human being thing, though. Overall,
it is.
Like you get connected to kind of like at least creating a meaning and a purpose of like, why am I here? Why am I doing this shit? Why does this even matter? Oh, because of all these cool ass experiences and all these people you kind of meet along the way, and you kind of you know, you get to actually live a journey instead of just like this sort of psychotic sedentary life that we've been exposed to for the last year and change.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I also think
Yeah.
like what's fun is that like, you know, when we started touring, the quality of the tours as far as like where we're sleeping, how much we're getting paid,
Yeah.
the amount of people we're playing for was much lower.
Mhm.
And compared to where we are, and we're still on, you know, an upward trajectory, I believe.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
the important thing is that we're kind of enjoying the ride, which I think is very important. Like
That
it's
is
still looking back about all the tours we've done and how much fun we've had, and it's not just been like we have to grind through this to get to this level. Like it's still kind of an exciting thing every time we go out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
that's
I
great.
mean, touring is literally outside of this band, touring is my gig. That's my job. So, you know, like you were talking about this extended vacation, it was like, wow, all this work I had just poof for a dozen or so bands and, you know, side projects. So, you know, it's when you're kind of dealing with that reality, you know, in the face of all that, like with this band, it just, you start to really appreciate the camaraderie thing, because like out of all the bands I tour with, this is probably the group where I always feel things are run the smoothest. The hang is like really
That's good.
deep. Like we get to some really great conversations. We argue about shit like anybody does, but like
of course.
it never fucks up the vibe. Like a lot of bands,
It'll
you know,
fuck the
they
vibe
can't
up.
deal with disagreeing with each other because they haven't dealt with themselves yet. They're still maturing, you know, so they'll break up over dumb shit, over arguments that are pointless that happen in a van because you're just, you know, week 4 in a 8-hour drive. You've been sleeping in the van or on tours. I mean, Zach told me about this show where it's like you watch like people's like tour vans and stuff like this.
Oh,
It's
digital
like, yo,
tour
like
bus,
people
I
are
think?
living in
Dude,
their own garbage.
I went through a big,
You know what I mean?
digital tour
Like,
bus.
Yeah,
like,
it's
time.
and a lot of people are living in their own filth, and it's like that adds up over time. That weighs on you, like those
Big time.
experiences, you know. And then you start to hate the people around you. And in this band, it's like on paper, the three of us probably shouldn't get along as well as we do, but it's like brotherhood, and it's in this
That's
really
great.
deep way. And I think that translates when we play music. You know,
Yeah.
I think it translates to what we do on stage, and I think that's why people, beyond the costumes and the density of the music, I think people are enjoying the fact that we fucking get along and we make music together. And that's a very rare expression in this world.
Dude, it really is. Because I have dealt with so many bands over the 15 years of being a booking agent, of just band members leaving, having ridiculous arguments with each other, the whole nine, everything you can name, like it has happened. And it's like, it's honestly very rare to like find a band, a band full of people that do get along very well, you know, and keep it together and stay professional on the road and be respectful to the venues and staff and all that stuff, you know?
That's paramount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is, man.
Even if you have a bad show, you got to respect the staff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think keeping a band together as a band is the most challenging part of having a band.
Yeah.
Easily.
Man, it is. Yeah.
If you can, through practice and experience, make that work, then that's already a huge accomplishment.
I agree. Yeah. Big time, dude.
Well, one thing I wanted to say about touring though was this, I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, but usually when I get off a tour, like we just did 4 weeks out or 5 weeks, whatever, and I get home, I usually end up just like sitting on the edge of my bed, like waiting for something to happen. But like, because now I'm like, well, now what do I do? Like, what do I do with stuff? Like you have to get back in the
groove of,
now I'm off the road, right? You know, like that's the weirdest part of touring.
I feel like it is. I feel like it's definitely, well, yeah, it is different for everybody. Everyone has a different, you know, living situation or their job, or some people have to go home and find a new job.
Yeah.
Because they may be off tour for a few months and they have to have some sort of income if the band is not generating enough to, you know, keep the band members afloat to pay bills. So it's a lot different for everybody. But yeah, I feel like that would be weird. I mean, even when I was younger and I would tour, I wouldn't tour that much. It'd be like once or twice a year. And that was just like
Were you in a band?
I was in bands when I was younger. I play guitar, but
Nice.
we
Me
like
too.
yeah. Oh, you're the guitarist. I can't tell who's who. And like my old bands, we
should
like
really
each
do that at some point. Just
yes. But yeah, I mean, I toured with a few bands like TMing and doing merch and shit, and you know, I toured TM like half of one of my Devastation on the Nations tour with Cryptopsy, and that was
Nice.
cool because the TM that I have for it that does it every year, Bryce, he couldn't do the first week and a half, so I was like, well, I'll just go do it, you know, and that was fun. That was a good time. But you know, I've never experienced the, you know, on the road for like, you know, bands that are like on the road, like doing, you know, 4, 5, 6 months a year, and then having to, you know, come home in between tours or whatever and just try to figure things out if you need to, you know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that, you know, their thing is like, yep, when I get home I gotta find a new job. You know, it's like, damn.
Well, the goal is to not have to do that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like that should be the main goal, to not have to fucking do that. But
Yeah, it's important, you know.
yeah,
I'm sure we've all played plenty of music for free, you know, like this,
oh yeah,
which can be cool for certain things in life, but that's not, you know, that's not sustainable. Let's put it that way.
No, that can only last for so long. And it's like in the beginning of a band, you know, everyone knows you gotta grind a bit, gotta eat some shit.
Yeah.
But you know, the main goal is to grow and continue to get better, and you know, obviously draw more people, get paid better and whatnot, and you find out
it does feel really good to like pay your bills with the money you made from a tour. Like
a
lot of that stuff, you know, a lot of that mindset though, it there's been this sort of like inherited perspective that, you know, eating shit means that you don't respect or value yourself. And that's the, you know, whether it's jazz guys in New York City or underground metal bands, you see the same thing where it's like there's this habit that kind of grew out of time where it's like cats are not respecting themselves because they're like, well, I gotta pay my dues, I gotta eat shit, I gotta, you know, start from the bottom and work my way up. And it's like, no, but you gotta remember to respect yourself and just value yourself. Because, you know, like, I mean, if not, what ends up happening is you get those opportunities to go up and up and up. Mm-hmm. And what happens, you don't really, you don't respect yourself. So you either get taken advantage of or you get undersold or you get robbed. And that happens a lot in any industry. And then what ends up happening is if you're a band that's like going to break a scene, or you're going to break maybe a section of music that's been overlooked or misunderstood, now you've lowered the overall platform that people can reach for in said scene. And, you know, it's thinking beyond yourself, you know, a lot of times it's, you know, and that's the kind of the beauty of today is like with the whole disarray of everything, you really just got to take ownership of yourself. Yeah. You know, there's just no other way around it anymore. It's like, you got to like work your way hard from the bottom. Yep. But don't ever lose sight of who you are. Don't ever disrespect yourself.
Yeah, no, never. No, that's a great way to put it.
He's got a point.
Definitely have a point.
I agree.
Actually, you guys knew how much caffeine and weed I've had so far? Oh, man, it's horrible. It's a horrible scene in this house.
Kenny is
Notice you don't see Julie anywhere. You don't see Julie anywhere. She's like, nope, I want nothing to do with this tornado.
Staying the hell out of there. Oh, it's great. So, did you guys all grow up in New York City? Is everyone from there?
No.
Not for the no.
My parents are. My dad was born here, born in Brooklyn. Yep. Mom was born in Puerto Rico, but she grew up in New York. But I grew up in Miami.
You grew up in Miami? Oh, wow. I've only been to Miami once. What about you, Zach?
I was born in Manhattan, and I grew up in Manhattan, and I'm still living in Manhattan.
Still in Manhattan. What about you, Steve?
He never left.
Yeah.
Branching out.
Yep. I grew up in Nyack, New York.
Oh, Nyack? Oh, dude, I've had friends that lived in Nyack growing up, and I'm pretty sure I went to a few shows in Nyack when I was younger.
There used to be shows in Nyack.
I forget what the place is called. Yeah. There used to be shows in a lot of weird places in New York.
Yep.
Nyack is nice. Remember we visited
Nyack is nice.
Our day off or something. It was like, this is a cool town.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, it's a cool little town, but you know, when you grow up, usually you don't want to go back to the place you grew up.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
certain weird dark reasons.
I mean, that's how like I like visiting where I grew up, you know, Poughkeepsie and stuff, and the surrounding area of Poughkeepsie, the Hudson Valley.
It's
And
beautiful.
it is beautiful, but
Hudson Valley is so nice.
yeah, no, it is, and it's like I have a good amount of friends still there. A lot of my family still lives there, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I would move back. Maybe when I get older, I don't know. Maybe when I get in my 40s or something, I might. Who knows? I
Wait,
like
40s
Texas
is
so
old?
far.
Wait.
It's way cheaper.
I went up to Poughkeepsie in like 2005, 2006 to go see Guar.
Yeah, at the chance. I was
Something like
probably
that.
there.
I wasn't because I showed up the day before. And I was like, why is there no one here?
Oh my god. Legendary.
Wow.
You showed up the
Legendary movie.
day
Wow.
before.
I mixed up
Dude,
the dates. Yeah, it was
how
terrible.
upset were you?
I was pretty bummed because I was also like leading all my friends and they were all like jazzed to go to the show. Yeah, it was a disaster.
Can you imagine Zach just looking up at
The bill-
Exactly.
Yeah,
Looking
you have
up
the
at
little billboard
the marquee.
there. The
and I was
marquee,
like,
the marquee. Yeah.
oh, today's
Oh,
not the day.
shit. So what did you guys stay the night or did you guys just
Nah, I just like, I think we just like had lunch
Got
in
some
Poughkeepsie
food.
and then took the train back.
wow.
just a nice little day trip to Poughkeepsie?
Yeah.
For some
Get out of
lunch.
the city for a bit.
Yeah.
For lunch.
For lunch.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's fucking great. That place is wild, man. It's still going. It's still kicking.
Thank God.
I know it's crazy. I don't know how, but it is. It's funny because the Chance has been on the market for like years for sale, but they want.
They don't do shows anymore.
No, they do, but it's like it's always been like listed for sale.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like there's no
should
sign
buy
on
it.
that. Yeah, I'm not for what they're asking.
They-
That's why it
did they
hasn't
end
been sold.
Right.
Did they end up buying Toads? Did that end up going the way of the dodo?
Oh,
I haven't kept up with that place.
Toads in New Haven.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Is it still around? I think it
That's
is.
a respectable joint, right? I've never
Yeah,
been
yeah,
there,
I
but
mean,
I've heard
those
about
are-
it.
I've
I
seen
mean,
a
I
few
just
shows.
remember the like Toads and Chance were like kind of the places you were wanting to play when you were booking like regional
Growing,
tours.
yeah, no, those are like the spots. It's crazy because Poughkeepsie's such a small, it was considered like a C market, you know, but
Yeah.
the shows there would pop off. I mean, I you can name any band, you know, Converge, all of them
Yeah.
between the Bear. I mean, I can go on for days.
The hardcore scene kept that whole circuit alive
Big.
for all those decades.
Yeah, well,
big time.
geographically, it was the perfect like pass through location, you know. So
It really is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Then it just like started dying down. But even Toads, man, I remember seeing Dillinger Escape Plan up there. Hatebreed, of course, because fucking Hatebreed played there in the Chance like every month. Those were like
Hardcore shows.
yeah, they were just like the house band, dude. Like Hatebreed and Poughkeepsie was like the house band. It was nuts. LJ, to answer your question, where did the name Imperial Triumphant come from? That's a good question. I always wondered that. I know it's a typical one probably, but really though.
No. It's a good question.
It's a-
It's not like the
name.
craziest story, but I'll just be honest.
no,
It
it's
was,
it's the best story. I love the
you
way-
guys love this story. I think it's such a lousy story. I was just like
my
walking
favorite
home from
one.
school. No, I'm walking home from
Yeah.
school. Like I must be 15 or something.
Oh wow.
Before like the band really took off. Like I had the name. It was just like I was just and it was just like yeah, I'm just like crossing Park Avenue on my way home, and I think of like just some cool words. That's it.
And it
It was just like, it's not even grammatically correct, the name, but
Yeah.
I was just like, Imperial Triumphant sounds cool.
It sounds cool. Like it's actually. and
That's,
wait,
I
how
mean,
old
that's
were
all that
you?
matters.
You were 15.
15. Yeah.
Wow.
Just trying to come up with cool words that,
Well, that's how it
Sound
was
cool.
back then. Like when
Right?
when I was younger, I remember we were trying to come up with band names. It was like, all right, someone whip out the dictionary, and then let's just start
Exactly.
going through and let's just find words that sound cool, and then let's try to put them together.
you're like synonyms or
Yeah.
like, are they real hot?
It's the most annoying thing ever. And then when bands that like, you know, I've had bands I worked with in the past that like went through like a rebrand or whatever, they changed their band name, and they're like, Dan, do you have any ideas? I'm like, don't ask me. Just I don't want to deal with that.
Dude, I don't know any bands that like change their name to a cooler name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't
That's
want to
tricky.
deal with that shit. That's tricky, man. It's a very tricky thing to do.
I mean,
So
That was a good question.
Yeah. But how did you guys form? So was it all you, Zach, back then, like when you were 15, 16?
Yeah, I kind of just was like my one-man project, and I kind of after college I ended up with the Pure on Rhythm section
Yeah.
as my band. So I had
okay.
Eric Malave and Alex Cohen,
Okay.
kind of just like they were kind of like hired guns, and then they just became part of the band for a couple of years, and it was cool. But I there was always kind of like a hired gun vibe, even though we're all friends.
Yeah, I got you.
And so eventually, Alex Cohen introduces me to Kenny Grahowski. There's an immediate vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him playing with Alec Keen's gun, and I was like, this is the cat I need in the band. And then I'm like desperately, trying to tour however I can, and I put out this part's actually cool. I put out a Craigslist ad looking for like extreme metal bassists or something. And 2 guys replied.
Uh-huh.
One is Steve Blanco.
Oh.
And it's funny, like the first audition, I go and meet up with this guy, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, so I'm teaching him the song, like in a rehearsal space. I'm like, the next note is like a G, and he's like, which fret is that? And at that point, I was like, this is not going to work. Like, and then I show up to meet up. I show up to jam with Steve, and he's already learned half the songs by ear.
Jeez.
So I was like, okay, this is an immediate vibe.
There
and then
it is.
we go on. We did a tour with Danfonce, and turns out Steve and Kenny already know a bunch of people, like have a bunch of mutual friends through the jazz scene. So it was just like a really strong fit. And then over the years, we've just been getting tighter and tighter as like a trio.
That's awesome.
And there's like a brief
great.
stint in like 2017 where we had Max Gorlick as a second guitar player.
Yeah.
And that was great, but he couldn't commit to like
Just like what you guys
the responsibilities. So although we're still friends, like
we love Max.
We love Max. He's we're just staying a trio, I think, for indefinitely.
Yeah, blessing in disguise, like that. We just had to figure it out as a 3-piece because that is what we help our sound become what it is.
Yeah,
precisely.
Yeah, I always like listening to your guys' music. Obviously, it's you are definitely the most, I don't know how to, bizarre band, weird band that I've ever booked, I think.
Nice.
I mean, I've booked like
Thank
some weird shit back in the day, but like that was like weird as in like the typical MySpace, weird grindy type of band,
Nice.
But you guys are like way different from that, obviously. You guys are just
it would
like
be cool to play a show with Atheretic if they're still around. I would do that. I would be super into that.
Atheretic.
Atheretic. I might be pronouncing it totally wrong. It's like ATHERETIC.
Oh, okay.
Like super.
I don't know them.
Like
I don't know them either.
super like kind of Gaia theory.
Yeah.
MySpace grind.
I
might
would
be spelling
love
it wrong
MySpace.
too. It's like somebody.
I wonder if I've heard it.
I feel like it'd be cool if we had a MySpace Imperial Triumphant shirt.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Because the band had to have a MySpace, right?
That could be cool.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course,
Of course. Who didn't have a MySpace? I mean, well, newer bands coming out today, I should say that.
Yeah.
Right.
But who were applicable? Let's just to make it fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I still have stickers with our old logo, and underneath it says myspace.com/Imperial Triumphant. Like,
Oh, you still got stickers of that?
yeah, because like, what am I going to do with 500 stickers and no shows to play?
That's true. You should just start handing them out to people.
Oh,
Honestly, I think I might have to.
It would be fucking hilarious. They'll be so confused by it. Like, wait, this band really has a MySpace page?
It's almost like full circle, kind of cool now.
MySpace was actually better for musicians.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had this conversation recently.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. 100%.
Yep. It was
The media
better.
player worked far better.
Oh yeah,
God,
man.
yeah,
Totally. The layout
Jesus.
for musicians, just the whole thing. It was more about like your whatever you're putting up there as opposed to the persona bullshit.
Yeah. No, straight up. Because you could make your MySpace look like a website.
Yep.
Like it
Exactly.
went, it went like that far, like where you could just edit all the HTML.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these,
it
all
was
the
awesome.
HTML, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
learned
You
how to
always
do all
hear
that.
about like bands that got discovered on MySpace and such.
Oh yeah, man. It was always about like, how many oh, that band has that many plays. Holy shit. Shit like that would always be like the talk of the town. But it
I mean,
was
I remember talking to guys like Sean Reinhardt and Dan Fjord from what the hell is that band called? They were a British band, but like all these like really super heavy drummers, and just shooting them a message on MySpace, and just because they saw that you were also a drummer,
Yep.
you could just break the ice with these guys. You didn't have to
Right
like
away.
hunt for a number or an email and annoy the
harder
shit out of
now.
these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's harder
Yeah, it
now.
is.
What are you gonna
Definitely harder
Facebook
now.
message them? Then it goes to like this other folder in your Facebook
Yeah.
messages.
Right, that
Yeah.
that
Then
no
you-
one sees until they're like, oh wait, what's this?
Yeah, why do I have like 50 notifications in this
From
folder?
3 months ago.
Yeah. It's the stupidest thing ever. Yeah. MySpace was definitely easier on that front
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, like especially if you were like just like, oh man, I don't want to bug this guy, but I really want to ask this dude a question. And more often than not, people would write back, and especially
Yeah.
as like a young musician coming up, that was always like, whoa, this is kind of cool. Like you can
It
actually
is.
interact with these people in like a meaningful way, and then like sometime later, it's like, wow, this really got out of hand.
Yeah. Oh, someone's at my door.
Oh,
It's probably
nice.
Amazon or something.
puppy alerts.
Popular. It's my girlfriend's here. Sorry. She's getting it.
Nice.
We did have a question in the chat. This is a good one. What do you all consider the perfect balance between the metal elements and elements from other genres when mapping things out? That's an interesting one.
The perfect balance, like
Yeah,
I
between
don't-
ratios.
I guess so.
I don't think that we think
That's an
about
interesting
that
one.
really.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't think.
What
Like-
happens is that music, the lines get blurred, the more that you submerge yourself into it. So
Yeah,
we're just making music and we're all influenced by all this different kinds of music.
Yeah.
So it's going to go into the music that we're making as a band, obviously, right?
oh,
So
for sure.
I would say, I don't think that you can put a ratio onto it or numbers on it like that,
Yeah,
It's personal. It's up to the creator at that
Yeah.
point. It's your ratios. What are your influences? What are your things inside of you? What do you know? What do you not know?
yeah,
That's then becomes the ratio. It's
Yeah, it sort of just
ratios are an
comes
after the
natural.
fact thing.
yeah. It's just not like when you guys sit down and write. It's just like pretty natural.
It's super natural. Like, sometimes a song needs horn section, or or sometimes it doesn't. And,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, we got to respect the ratio. We got to get a clarinet solo on this fucker. Like,
It's just
too
whatever
metal.
feels right.
Yeah,
No,
it's whatever the
Right.
song needs, and
Yeah.
that kind of if for us it's just a natural feeling. It's not.
it's a good
There's
question.
no rules, I guess.
No,
It is a
it's
great question.
It's a good question though, because I think people like to compartmentalize things, or maybe it's natural for us to try to organize things. So that's why we break things up into genres and subgenres and
Mhm.
micro genre and I don't know, nano genre by now, I guess, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's interesting to try to zoom out, maybe, just maybe try to look at the whole big picture of everything.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, you guys write very interesting music. I mean, I think, what was it? I wrote it down. Zach, you mentioned to me before that people have said that it sounds like each of you are playing a different song all at the same time.
Yeah, I've read those comments.
That's
right?
cool.
It was like one of the kind.
That's cool if that's what it sounds like to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an
But it
excellent
works.
comment.
I hope so. Yeah.
I hope so.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely when I've showed people your band, like especially like my boss Stefan, he was just like, "Wow, this is like very interesting," Like even friends of mine, they're like, "This is fucking rad." Like never heard a band really doing this before, and it's just like it's rad though. I mean, you guys have got, especially on the new record, getting these guests, from
Oh, yeah.
Meshuggah and Mr.
Yeah.
Uncle. I mean, that's wild. I didn't even know that was happening until it was like posted. I was like, oh damn, all right, sick. These guys are really going in on this record.
I think it's kind of fun to like bring in artists that you're friends with, and that you
Mhm.
think their talents can contribute to the piece. It's kind of like, I've always said it's kind of like, when you're playing like a local gig and like you have friends come and sit in for a song or two, like
Yeah.
it kind of feels like that. It's nothing. It's just like, oh yeah,
See if
are
he's
they available? Let's get them sit in for a tune. And
yeah.
people are excited to collaborate.
Yeah, it's super fun actually to get guests because also you don't know what they're gonna do, and then you get a surprise in your own music. That's can add another layer of coolness.
Yeah,
Exactly. We rarely tell people like our guests what to play or what to
Just
sing.
you
Kind of
just like let them listen to the songs
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
or
we know that
a song.
what they do. So like,
Yeah.
we know they're gonna knock it out of the park.
for
Yeah,
example,
you're not worried.
on Alphaville, we did a Voivod cover,
Yeah.
and Colin just surprised us by putting down a second guitar track on it. Like, and it was awesome. So
That's wait.
Yeah, that was
so
amazing.
he just did it and was like, "Hey, look what I did."
yeah, he did it, and then
Well, we
he was like, oh,
surprised him. You remember, like,
yeah,
Oh,
we surprised
because
him first.
he's a huge Voivod fan. So
Yeah.
like
You didn't tell
we were
him.
like, okay, we're gonna do our cover song now, and he was like, okay, and we're like, just press record. Like we didn't tell him what it was called. And then when we dropped into Experiment, he like flipped out. He was so jazzed.
Oh man, that is rad. That's cool how you like surprised him like that.
and then he surprised us by laying down the left guitar tracks
Yep.
like the
That's-
next day. It was crazy.
Wow. How was it work? Was that your first time working with Colin?
No.
No,
No.
we've literally never not worked with Colin.
It's always been with Colin.
Yeah,
He's New York, man.
Yeah.
he's
We hope to
literally a
continue working
stablemate.
with Colin.
Yeah. He's like in a sense a part of the band, kind of.
He's
Kind of like the fifth Beatle, like that guy that was like the
I
engineer
was
of the
gonna say
Beatles,
I was going to say the fourth Beatle.
Wasn't there
Kevin
that
gave-
guy? What's his name? I can't remember. He's like
Theodore Adorno.
maybe, yeah. He's like he was the
That's
engineer
not
for the
who you're thinking of.
Beatles. No, the guy was the
That's
engineer
real
for the Beatles.
Beatle.
Is the engineer for the Beatles?
He
No,
was
the
like,
engineer.
I feel like it's the Beatles I'm thinking of, where he was like just did all their engineering and he was like
You
kind
sure
of
you're
like
not thinking of the Trogs?
I don't know what I'm thinking about, but like
Man, I just
But I
made
do
a
feel like-
super old man music joke just now. Holy shit! Oh wow.
yeah, that kind of
It's
like
okay, Kenny. Oh, love
I
it.
can't see us going to any other studio really,
Yeah, you're just too comfortable. I mean, I feel like, that's great when a band can find like somebody that works well with them, to go.
And we save so much
studio.
time just like because he knows exactly what we're trying to do before we even tell him.
Yeah, he just nails it out the park. So he does all the mixing too and mastering for you guys,
Yep.
or do you send us? Yeah,
Well, the mastering was
Master
like,
somebody
or the
else.
mixing was split with he did the engine, yeah, but he was also we worked with Trey as like a producer.
They both mastered. Colin and Trey Spruance mastered the record.
gotcha.
And then Trey was there for the mixing as well.
Oh, okay.
Trey was with us for the entire
He was in-
mixing session.
Okay,
And Colin did the actual mixing.
that's rad.
Right.
That's a good formula.
It was a good like crew.
Yeah, you guys have a good crew. Seriously,
If you think about like how to make a crazy record, you get like Colin Marston and
Go
Trey
from
Spruance in a
Gorguts,
room. Like
Kraulis.
Yeah, right.
I mean, everyone here, if you don't listen to Gorguts or Kraulis, you should go listen to them. Am I pronouncing it? Is it Kraulis?
Kraulis, yeah.
Yes,
Kraulis's
okay.
new record, little shout, little plug. Kraulis's new album's great, by the way. I really enjoyed it.
yeah, they were out there.
I don't think.
Yeah,
wait,
I
which
like it.
was their? Oh, covered your face.
They don't
up.
ever like promote their albums. They
No.
just drop them.
They just like drop them out of nowhere.
Yeah, it just goes out.
Is it the Go Be Forgotten or is it not on? No, Wolf.
It's
Wolf.
what is it?
Wolf came out in 2019.
No,
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 no.
it came out
Just came
Demonic
out.
Wealth.
Yeah, Demonic
Oh,
World
it's not-
came out.
That sounds like an Imperial Triumphant song.
Oh, it's not up here. I gotta go find it. It does sound like an Imperial Triumphant song. I've never seen Kraulis live before. I've always wanted to.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I've actually. Wait, have I seen Gorguts? No. No,
Oh,
I was
Gorguts
supposed
is
to see
great
them
live,
like
too.
2 years ago. And I think the tour got canceled or something. I think I had Defeated Sanity on it. I can't remember if that tour happened. Or Defeated Sanity couldn't do it. I can't remember. was like
I think
2017.
Yeah.
Oh,
There was
yeah, I
something
remember
with
that.
there was like a visa issue with one of the bands. Like somebody like half the band couldn't get into the U.S. or some
Yeah,
shit like
that
that.
might have been Defeated. Could have been.
Yeah, I
them.
think I
gotta
remember
go-
that.
Yeah, I think that.
I remember
and I was
hearing
gonna-
about that.
But yeah, I haven't seen Gorguts either. I've seen live videos. I always
They're
like
so good.
any bands I haven't
Gorguts is
seen live.
so
Always,
tight.
yeah, they're one of the most incredible bands.
With
Definitely.
either Patrice or John,
Yeah.
both super good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
what-
those guys are monsters.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. We had another question. Which is a good one because I feel like a lot of people want to know, and I do too because I don't know the answer to this one. Where did the design for the masks come from?
Oh, that's a
Like
great
the inspiration
question.
to it. Yeah,
I'd say the inspiration and the design are two different things. I think
true.
it started with Steve
Oh.
saying, just explaining, like telling me that we should, take our live shit or our visuals to the next level.
Yeah.
And then I started making phone calls and
Mhm.
figuring out how to go about what kind of influences we want to do. And obviously, we're very inspired by Art Deco and New York City and
Yep.
films of Stanley Kubrick. And they were the first draft designs were done by this artist that we collaborate with a lot named Andrew Tremblay. He did our logo. He did a lot of the recent album covers or past album covers.
Yeah.
And he did the drawings. And then a friend of Steve's, JB Patterson,
Mhm.
JR.
JR Patterson, he did CAD file renderings.
Oh.
Yeah, he did 3D
3D. Yeah.
rendering and designs of the actual to bring the mask to life because we didn't know how we were going to manufacture these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all custom made and
They're totally from scratch, not like a mask that we
Yeah. You buy
bought
some.
at a party store.
retrofitted. It was a complete out of thin air creation. So
Wow.
And then Steve himself
That's so sick.
gold leafed them by hand,
Really?
which I think he painstakingly, but with a lot of love.
Yeah. That probably takes a little time.
And it's quite cool because the gold leaf is a metal,
Mm-hmm.
like the around the eyes, the nose, and the sides, it's starting to turn green
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's
we'll
like
do
the
that.
sweat is oxidizing.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting
And
to
so-
patina.
patina.
Yeah, it's patina.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Penny.
Did I show them?
Yes.
Yeah.
you
Oh
got
yeah,
it.
yours is right behind you.
You
huh?
got
Oh, you
yours
have it
already.
with you?
Yeah, it's on the wall. Hold on one
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Go pick it up. So what
Yeah,
do you got?
go leafing them was like a bunch of trips to the hardware store and like Michael's Crafts. But it's cool. It's cool because the whole process was just like this big giant problem solving thing that we just slowly figured out, and then
Yeah.
we just next thing we know, we
Yeah.
got a cool mask.
Yeah, and then it came
Our
out.
original ones actually, we did a tour, which they were just black.
Oh, they
We
were.
didn't have
With the
we
hood.
didn't have time to like
Oh, I
put
think
gold,
yeah.
so it was black, but it was so dumb because we had hoods on, so you couldn't even see the mask.
Yeah.
So it was, but you
Brilliant
could
Did not
moment.
work out.
and they were too small.
Yeah,
Oh.
Dan, live and learn. Live and
Yeah,
learn.
live and learn. So there it is right there.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't have as much patina as these guys tend to get because they're actually singing and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you can see sort of
How it's wearing down too.
like around basically around the nose because I'm
mouth
like,
and nose. Well,
yeah,
you're sweating.
yeah, especially the shape of the mask. I actually kind of make this weird face, so all the sweat just kind of pools right there, and
Oh
it goes
my
right. Yeah, so it all just kind of dribbles right in there.
Right in there. Yeah.
But it even on the sides as well, you could start to see how it's
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it
patinaing
looks
in there.
nice
you
on
could-
the side.
it does actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, mask, hood, and drums. Like, let's make it more difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of helps
Yeah.
me focus, though. I kind of, in that way, it weirdly kind of keeps me calm, so that I don't kind of get really belligerent on stage. So that's a plus. I mean, it doesn't make it easier, but it helps to kind of like just calm things down a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
interesting.
I've gotten into playing with the mask on actually. Like you kind of go into you're in your
Yeah.
own world that becomes part of the show.
You get like in the zone.
character.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a little cozy almost, despite it being extremely uncomfortable.
It can be unless it's like 100 degrees like that.
Oh,
What was
yeah.
that Moscow? Was that Moscow?
Moscow was hot.
That place is gone.
That venue is long gone. It's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cool venue actually.
That was an
great
amazing
venue.
show.
Yeah.
Was that your first time over there? Did you only
Yes.
go over there
Yeah.
once? Yeah.
Yeah, Moscow was sick, but we played in like the pitch black.
Oh,
They had no stage lights. We just had
Yeah.
like our floor lights that we bring. And
Yeah.
that was it. It was
Yeah, and it
pitch
was
black.
insanely hot. And I
No, yeah,
Yeah.
no air condition or anything.
not even like
Yeah.
a fan.
No.
I don't know. Was there even a fan, Kenny? I don't think there was a
Jesus.
No,
fucking
that was
fan
that
back
was
there.
that was the gig where, you know, like the whole heat exhaustion thing happened, but it was an awesome show.
It was an amazing show.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like I think one of us threw up and then just kind of swallowed and kept going. I think it was Zach. I forget. I mean, I definitely came close to throwing up, but I, you know, kind of kept it together. And
Hey,
Yeah.
I've seen Will from Artificial Brain throw up right on the stage. You know, so-
Transpicos,
yeah,
that was so fun. Hey guys, I think I just fucking threw up. Like right in the middle of the fucking set.
I just threw up.
Yeah, I mean, DeFonce,
That's all.
that might have been one of the sickest bills we've ever played. It was
Yeah.
like 100 years ago, and it's us,
You're psycho.
Puron, Artificial Brain, and
God, dude.
Plebeian Grandstand.
Yeah, Plebeian Grandstand. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
We need to make
In
that
fucking
happen again.
Ridgewood.
That's a crazy bill.
That's
Yeah.
an insane bill.
Oh, it was so awesome.
That's gonna, yeah, wow. I've never seen Artificial Brain. I've never seen Puron before. Who's the other band?
Plebeian Grandstand?
They're French.
They're French.
They're from
I gotta
France.
look them up.
They're
They're sick,
fucking
man. They're
disgusting.
It was
Great
a
band.
savage show.
Oh my god, that drummer's a freak.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I gotta look.
And the
them up.
guitar player is super nice cat.
They're
I
all
haven't
really
even-
nice.
I haven't even
all
seen you
those
guys live yet.
Oh yeah, that's
I've only
right.
seen videos. I've only seen videos. Next
Come,
year, for
come to
sure.
our show in 2029. You know,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Spider-Man is flying around and shit.
Definitely, yeah. We definitely got to get back to Dallas.
My friend DJ asked. He's a good friend of mine. He actually lives in the city. Pick if you could pick 3 songs from your guys' discography to show someone who's never listened to the band before. Which 3 would you pick?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I feel like for a band like you guys, that's a hard one to do.
Probably going to be different for each of us.
Yeah, I feel like you guys will not pick the same songs. Maybe
Certainly not.
I don't even know.
I mean, I think a
I think you just
great.
got, what's that?
I think Atomic Age is like a big
Atomic
hit.
Age.
Oh, that's a good
Off
one.
I feel like
I wrote it
everyone
down
likes
for
that
me.
one, and it definitely
Yeah.
portrays how weird the band can be.
That'll give you like
That's a
good
good one.
taste, like a first song to listen.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
between like the barbershop quartet and like
Oh, that
the
one's
oscillating blast beats tempo, like
Mhm.
that's plenty of weird shit for you.
DJ, you should definitely check them out though. Definitely go watch a video. Listen, I mean, it's
I don't know. That's
gonna
my
take you
take.
for a
There's
ride.
3 of us, so maybe
Yeah,
we
yeah.
each pick one.
Steve. Which one would you pick?
I mean, I agree with Atomic Age. That's a good
Thanks.
No,
Yeah?
dude, you got to pick your own. That's mine.
Don't copy me.
one. Yeah, well, we can just speed this along. Let's just pick 3. I mean, that's one. We all agree. We got all day for this.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to
Fucking
say
making
Gotham,
lists.
I was going to say Gotham Lux because to me that song sort of has all the DNA of our evolution in it. So because it takes you for a ride through like these really different experiences, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that's maybe a good way to
Gotham
represent.
Lux swings, man.
Yeah, a good way to represent, you know, a lot of what we do. You know.
Yeah. And then what would
Yeah.
you think it was a third song? Yeah.
Growski, what do you got?
Fucking man, I
That's
got
huge.
shit. I mean,
All of them.
in conjunction with those 2, I would say something like maybe like a Crocodile.
Oh,
or,
Oh,
good
shit.
one, good one, good one.
I mean, even in a
Intervals.
way like
Let's
Breath
see.
of Innocence, you know, because especially with this particular lineup, like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the first song where it really was like, this is the 3 of us trying this experiment together, where it's not like, because Oncest, it's like, you know, you got the Piron rhythm
bands.
section, you have the Imperial, you know, core section, the original. And then you got this one song that's like, hey guys, learn this song that we've never played. And then you have this thing, which we all did together. and you can hear all of our like the beginning influences of
That's a
how we were
great
gonna-
answer.
You know,
Yeah,
like you can
kinda
really hear how we
kinda
came
sealed the
together.
deal.
Yeah, and it's my favorite of those of that.
What was the song
album.
again?
Breath of Innocence.
Breath of
Am I
Innocence.
thinking of the right
Yeah,
song?
that's the first
that's
one.
right.
That's the first one that we all wrote together. I remember it
That's the
came out
first-
really natural.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we toured it. We toured it a couple tours ago, I want to say, right? And it
Mhm.
was just a
Oh, yeah, from
shitload
this-
of fun to play live.
Yeah.
So.
That's the one that has it ends with a breakdown for 2 minutes. That's all 7/4. It's
Actually,
just like
I need to listen to
It's-
this record.
it's
This is
nuts.
one I haven't yet.
Actually,
I
for
need to-
those listening, you're in for a real treat as to anyone who's not listening, because Alceste is going to be reissued by
Oh.
Redefining Darkness this year.
Oh, great. Love that
The
label.
CD will be out soon, and then in the summer we'll have the LP. So
That's dope.
you guys are getting the inside scoop.
Hell yeah. That's rad. That's cool that you're reissuing that.
It's
Yeah.
going to be in a really beautiful layout. That,
Did you-
so it's going to be a cool collector's item.
Yeah, you self-released that one.
Oh no, that
Right.
was with Redefining Darkness.
Was it? Oh, I'm looking on Spotify. It's
I
saying
mean,
this.
Goddamn
Should've-
Spotify.
Does it say
Goddamn.
self-released on Spotify?
It
Does
just
say
says your
that?
band name. It says 2016 Imperial Triumphant.
Yeah,
Well,
Spotify.
actually, I think we're going to self-release this reissue on Spotify.
I'll be quiet.
Oh, for digital.
So
Probably different for digital.
yeah. But it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be like it's
I'm
a really
stoked to hear it.
stunning physical product, and then it's got a bunch of bonus tracks on it that were only available to the LP run that we did. That was only 100 copies, so there's a
Oh.
lot of new stuff.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
It's a good
It's
idea
got
to add those
got a
to it.
Miles Davis bass cover that Steve did.
Oh, wow. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
That'd be interesting. We had a question in chat, which I didn't even know you did this, but or if you did it. When and how did you come up with the idea of shredding with a wine bottle?
That's for Steve.
Oh well, that's just what you use when you can't find your slide. So you pick up and find a bottle, and
I got a wine bottle.
yeah, and then sometimes it looks cool.
Yeah.
Like we've done champagne bottles, which really fit the Imperial.
I think that fits
vibe, you know?
perfectly. You guys should sell your own champagne.
we should.
Working on
Yeah.
it. We're
Yeah.
working on it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there are
I mean-
there are some things you are working on, right? That you want.
Oh, we're working on a lot of things. I'll give you another plug real quick.
Do it.
Right now, we just dropped it. If you go to Pitch Black North, we have our first tea that we've done
Oh,
to anyone who's a tea drinker.
dude, I like tea. Pitch
It's
Black
a,
North, you said?
It's pitchblacknorth.com. It's a
I'll throw it in the
gilded
chat.
black lapsang with flakes, 24 karat gold flake in the tea.
Whoa.
It's nuts. I've tried it. It's extremely smoky, really
Yeah,
strong tea.
It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, here it is. I'll throw the link in the chat for. Oh,
And a
this
cool
looks rad, dude.
label design. Cool label design by Julie Grahowski.
Oh, I gotta pick this
Exactly.
up.
An exquisite label design
Yep.
by Julie Grahowski. Knocked it out of the park.
Fantastic
Yes,
design.
she did.
Yo, this looks rad. What?
It's really good. And we haven't even announced it yet. I'm going to announce
Really?
it probably after this interview. So everyone,
Since you already did.
Well, it's been announced.
Since you already just said it.
no, but I mean, I'm going to we'll post on social. We haven't
Yeah, I
posted
like
on
this
any social
packaging.
media or anything.
Yeah.
I like this packaging and
Just
everything. And then,
busting chops.
That's all Julie Grahowski. She knocked it out of
Yeah.
the park.
wow.
You know, she did a really remarkable
I really
job.
love all the artwork you guys have. Like everything you
Thank
guys
you.
do is just incredible in my opinion, and it just fits the band like perfectly.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
I remember when I
We
announced,
really give a shit.
yeah, no, you could tell. I remember when I announced this episode, my friend Orlando, just like he listens to metal, but not like death metal or anything like that. He's a really good friend of mine here in Dallas, and he was like, "Yo, that episode you announced recently, that logo takes the cake." He's like,
Cool.
That's
what does that
awesome.
say? And I
Nice.
told him,
Look at
he's
that.
like, okay. And then I showed him you guys, he's like, okay, makes sense.
Wow.
Oh, Benny, it's a tea, actually. Click that link above. It's
Yeah, it's a
rad, dude.
tea.
It's a tea. Do you guys have a coffee? I think you do, right?
We
Yes, we
do.
do.
You can pick
Is it-
it up at Night Shift merch
Oh, it is Night
in the
Shift?
in North America,
Yeah.
and then we will have the same coffee available soon. I think probably next week in Europe. So you don't have to pay brutal. Yeah, anyone in Europe watching, you don't need to pay crazy fees. We'll have coffee available soon. And the coffee is amazing. It was brewed by Steve's good friend at Sweet Leaf Brewers in New York.
Love that. Let's see.
Yeah, you can check out Sweet Leaf NYC Coffee Roasters.
Sweet Leaf
and anyone who's in New York, go to that cafe. Go to those cafes. It's the best.
I'm gonna look it up too.
I mean, yeah, we have like lots of different, alternative merch items, but nothing that we release is ever like low quality, like
we're
always trying to.
You want it to be good quality. I think that's key.
Yeah, it's going to be just as good as if not better than if you were buying, a bag of coffee at a regular restaurant, or not restaurant, whatever.
Yeah,
we're a band
if
trying
you're
to
small,
get people to buy coffee, so it better be fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We actually that's the thing, Dan, is that we really love coffee.
I fucking love coffee. So, every day.
Yeah, we get super into it.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love finding good coffee shops.
On the road too,
dude.
Yeah, circling back to our favorite thing on the road is getting coffee.
On the road, finding the spots.
It'll be a whole procedure of like,
everyone.
What are we going to? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone get on their phone and read the reviews and
exactly.
Find out what it's about.
Or just you have your crew of people who are around and they go, when you're here, go here. When you're here, go there. Like, you just Like that's if you're in this game long enough, you just create this network of people who can make recommendations for different spots, and it can be a saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that
food as well.
Yeah.
Food for sure. Yeah. Asking around for that.
Like those pancakes in Maine.
Yes. Fucking purple cow. Purple cow. Just I don't give a shit if you don't live in Maine. I don't really fucking care where you live. You should make a trip out to Purple Cow.
Just drive to the Purple Cow, man.
Just
where is it in Maine?
It's in Maine.
Oh my! I've never actually been to Maine. That's crazy.
It's nice. It's nice.
I know.
In Maine? We did do a show in Maine, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
I've only booked
that
that show.
We did a show.
Oh,
I've only booked maybe, I don't know, like 2 bands in Maine before. I know the most recent was a few years ago. Was Today's the Day. We did Today's the Day up there, but Steve's from up there, so. It's like that's hometown.
Yeah, it's a little. Maine is a hard market. Like
it is, dude.
Well, it's not that many people.
Actually, I did Rivers of Nile up there too. When they went to Canada for their Canadian tour, we did it.
Yeah, in fact, some of the people at that Maine show, were from Canada. They were like,
they came down to.
They did come down.
They drove to that house
so fucking north.
Wow,
to catch us there because we weren't going to Canada, right? Or
probably
whatever, something like this.
We weren't going to Canada on that tour, I think.
So they were just coming down.
We had something in Montreal at the end, and they were in Ontario, and they weren't going to be able to. They weren't going to make the trip up to Montreal, so they caught.
It's closer, that's crazy.
That's so nuts. Dude.
Yeah, a border crossing, and that guy's house was a closer show to get to than Montreal for them.
Exactly.
But that was a killer show, though. I mean, it was nuts. It was definitely a crazy show, but we had fun. I mean,
that's right, man.
And we had those pancakes.
And then we had
the pancakes.
And the maple syrup that's like from right up the street.
Yeah, literally.
You should do like a collab with them. Have Imperial Triumphant pancakes.
I would. I mean,
Imperial pancakes.
Actually, a maple syrup would be cool because that's a very luxurious.
A maple cereal, a syrup,
and there's not that much good maple around these days.
Especially when you talk about that on a global scale, it's very luxurious because it only exists in very small parts of the world. So
you guys remember Charles de Gaulle when the guy fucking confiscated my cymbal boom, and the lady behind me, they fucking confiscated her maple. That's
the maple.
What?
They did the same shit that they were doing to me. They did to her for her fucking maple.
They were
syrup.
yelling at Kenny. These guys.
Oh,
they were kind of.
Where was this at?
At Charles de Gaulle in Paris.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
My favorite airport in the world.
Yeah, they were doing that good cop, bad cop thing to Kenny with the.
We're like they were doing like bad cop, French cop.
Yeah, French cop, bad cop. Yeah, exactly. No, because the irony of the whole thing was that we had already taken like 1,400 planes with this gear, and then
Oh
this
my god, dude.
we get to Paris, and all of a sudden this thing's not allowed to go to travel with him. It was
It
ridiculous.
was a boom
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah, which is like a really inconsequential piece of gear, but it just this particular thing was used to belong to my dad. He used to use it back in the 80s and 90s when he toured.
Yeah.
So it's like this was sort of like a
dude.
thing that's like I never bring this thing on tour because it's like I'm always afraid of
Yeah.
something happening to it,
Breaking it or losing it.
And then it happened, and it's like I replaced it for $50. It's not like the
Yeah.
monetary value, but it's just
Well, the history behind it.
and
That's
it's just
what
that
the value
airport.
is.
Like in all my years of touring, like that airport, I always have problems at that
my
airport,
God.
and it's like I was inches away from murdering that man.
Yeah, it's a good.
Inches.
It's a good.
Death was looking at him, and he had no fucking clue.
It's a good thing
None.
they took that. It's a good thing they took that piece of drum hardware, because I was planning on taking it and stabbing the engine with it. I wanted to have the plane down with it.
Yeah, just undoing the door to the fuselage and just chucking it
Oh,
in,
yeah.
hoping the jet string just sucks it
Real,
in.
real,
Oh, man.
terror.
Real Rambo shit.
Yeah, real.
Daniel, every time we're flying, there's like an issue because of like the masks and shit. Like,
Oh, they
they've
see them,
never,
right?
never not had to go through
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's like some
And you-
James Bond shit. The mask, So
Yeah.
And they usually think that, like, best case scenario, they think that we're in Ghost. Like, that's a big assumption that they
So
have.
true.
They go,
Are
"Are you
you
guys in Ghost?"
serious?
Like multiple
Yes.
times they ask us this, and we're usually like, "Yes, of course."
Yeah. Yes.
No autographs, please.
Please, yeah.
Just let us through.
Yeah, please don't take our shit. We're a big deal.
We're a huge deal. We really need to get to the show. But yeah,
That
it's
sucks,
brutal
man.
traveling.
Is that the worst airport? Like literally?
Charles de Gaulle, easily.
I mean, it's not the
yeah.
worst airport. It's just for some reason,
They just
in
always
the
have an
20
issue.
years I've had going to Europe,
Mm-hmm.
that airport, I just always have issues at that airport. I've been detained at that airport. It's
Jesus.
it's a fucking thing. It's a shit show.
Dude, funny
I
story.
mean, going to Russia was like we thought was going to be a huge issue.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
we had
How
so
was
many-
that?
We had to we had a lot of hoops to jump through, like as far as visas and stuff.
Visas, yeah.
Steve and I spent a lot of time at the Russian consulate here in New York.
We did.
Really?
Yeah,
That
because
a
they
lot.
just it was a nightmare. But then traveling to Russia, it was just like не проблема, like super fucking easy.
Yeah, it was no problem at all.
Wow. Yeah, I never had to get, or I never like, well, I've had bands go to Russia, but I was never like in the middle of that. Like they booked it with somebody else. A lot of times when like, bands from Europe come here, obviously I'm like in the middle of helping them get their visas. So I never had to deal with a band getting Russian visas.
Yeah.
I think if you fly, it's no problem. If you drive into Russia, it's a problem.
Yeah.
From what
Gotcha.
I've heard.
Well, from what you heard, yeah.
We never drive into Russia.
No. So I feel like,
The Russian visa looks super cool too. It's got
Oh my God, it looks awesome.
It's like
Yeah.
really?
badass. Like you open your passport, you're just like, wow, that's a badass.
Yeah, it writes all your information, your name in Cyrillic and shit. It looks
Oh,
amazing.
that is
You feel like a-
fucking tight.
Yeah,
I feel like a spy.
You feel like a spy. Oh man. So I know you guys have said like New York City is like a big influence on the band, right?
Heavily.
Heavily. What influence, like what from New York City like kind of influences you, like growing up? Just like
the weight. It's like
yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
heavy
Yeah.
place, man. It's like it's the worst of everything. It's also the worst of everything. And it's also, the top of the pyramid's playground. And, as a regular person in that city, you're constantly at odds with all this energy that's around
You're at
you.
the mercy.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, you're also in this place where you get to make music with guys like Zachary and Kenny, so like, that like the three of us exist as a result of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a tough place to live. And I think even historically, like there's a lot of inspiration for a city that's existed for such a short period of time. Like
Mhm.
I'm finding myself, reading and a lot about the history of the architecture here, the history of the, civil engineers here and stuff like that. And
That's right.
there's a lot of interesting history there. And yeah, I'd say the architecture is just a huge influence, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean,
That's cool.
the city's, I mean, it was like, what, incorporated in like 1640 or something. You know, it's relatively young, so to speak, right, on the world level.
Yeah.
But it's been such a you know, a center point of I think global commerce and money.
Yeah.
That there's just all this crazy esoteric shit there from all the different clubs of the world that have their meetings there, you know, to the United Nations, whatever the hell you want to think, whatever.
Yeah, it's all there.
But it's all there, right? You know,
literally.
So,
yeah,
and
it's nuts.
It has been a source of inspiration also, just learning that stuff or diving into it or connecting it to the past worlds or, you know, connecting New York to like, you know, I don't know, the ancient Persia or something. You know, you can like make a connection all the way back, you know, so that's pretty fascinating.
It's an energy nexus, this place. Like, I mean, because for all the crazy and fucked up shit or the underground shit and the worst shit, there's also what Steve was talking about, this other energy that gets created, and we're not the only people creating shit out here. I mean,
New York City's full of
you shake a tree and there's somebody out there who's doing some really dope shit that may or may not be known, you know. And a lot of places are like that, but this city has an energy unto itself that it's just going and going and going, and you either get on board with that shit or it flings you off. It's one or the other. A lot of places in the world you can live and not have to deal with that kind of constant energy, but this place has it.
Yeah, I feel like New York City, it's a different breed. Like, it's a different, you know, you go in New York City, you just like feel different from everywhere else.
But it's a shared energy because there's other nexus
I like
places
it though. I love
in the world
that
have it.
Yeah.
And they express it in their own ways.
Exactly.
That's the thing is, the more years that you spend there, you have to figure out how to spend X number of years not there as well for your own sanity. You know, that's So I think people who figure out how to like not have to always be there, that's the key, you know?
Mm-hmm.
True.
Definitely.
The times that I am most like happy to be from New York, or the times that I'm most like proud of my city or excited about New York, is when I'm not in New York.
Yeah, like for example, touring, the worst part of touring, getting back to the original question that started this whole conversation, is New York. That's the worst part of touring.
Oh my God, playing a New York show is a nightmare.
Dude, it is. It really is, though.
Absolute shit show. Getting in, getting out. And you would think that with everything that's going on now, that FDR wouldn't look like a fucking shit show, or the bridge of the tunnel. No.
It's still a parking lot.
It's still a parking lot, right?
May 2020, you know, June, May, April 2020.
The only thing that's been kind of it's worse because they shut down the service overnight, but the subway's really never been cleaner. It's like the pandemic subway's kind of like the luxury subway.
Those days are over. They're over.
Yeah, those days are over.
It's
like
stopped.
The crazies are back now.
It's fucking. They're only closing this shit now for 2 hours for cleaning once a day. Nah, it's fucking. It's back to.
Yeah, and
it's back to where it was before.
But it was fun for a year. It was fun for that year.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The pandemic
that 1 year was nice.
Subway will not be forgotten.
No, that was
forgotten.
A silver lining in this thing was like, wow, actually,
they're clean.
Sitting.
Well, that's how it is now. Like,
yeah.
I went to this like sushi ramen restaurant a week ago with a few friends. Like Ken from Abigail Williams was in town with the Veil and Nath guys. They're writing a record together. That's pretty much, they're just like one band now because they're all just really good friends. So now it just makes sense. And Ken lives in Texas. Anyway, Ken's the most interesting dude. So they're in town. So I drove out to Rowlett, which is outside of Dallas, and we met up. And, you know, you go inside, everything's clean. Everything's really clean. You know, they're making sure they're cleaning everything. And I remember I looked over at my friend Bryce and kind of was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom now. I guarantee you that bathroom's a shitstorm. I guarantee you it is. Walk in the bathroom. I'm like, Jesus Christ. it's so bad.
Literally.
I fucking called it. I knew it. I fucking knew it, dude. And it's just, yeah. At first it was good, but like everywhere, you know, how long are they going to really keep up with it?
Exactly.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah. Especially, dude, that's crazy. I can't even imagine. You saw the difference in the subway?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, there
god.
was a difference. You
Wow.
could smell the difference.
Well,
There's also like 80% less people.
Yeah, I was gonna
That
say
too.
dude,
Yeah.
It's just numbers, right? There was just way less people riding the train. A lot of people were afraid to go in the train. You know,
I get it.
Yeah.
I rode it the whole time I was there. You know, but
Yeah.
it's just
I mean, you gotta do what you
interesting
do.
that it was definitely different. You know.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
I mean, it's still commuting wise. Like when I go to the studio to meet with Zach to rehearse, or just to go to where we're based, where we rehearse, it's definitely, even rush hour, it's not the same amount of people coming into the city.
Yeah.
A lot of those jobs still haven't come back.
Yeah, they're still
A
at
lot
home.
of folks are still
That's true.
working remotely.
Yeah. Same with my
But it's-
sister. She works at home, but her job is in the city.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's, so a lot
Those
of people
jobs
are
are coming back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Midtown and those areas where you saw all that like office stuff going on. It's still like
Kinda.
it's quiet. It's
Quiet there, right?
nowhere near the amount of foot traffic you normally would see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a gazillion small businesses that are permanently closed down.
Yeah.
So that's
Gone.
That's the
That's-
saddest part.
whole blocks that are boarded up.
Yeah. It's and tons of
Brutal.
7-Eleven now. There's fucking 7-Eleven everywhere.
Really?
7-Eleven. Yeah, like on Midtown, like by where
What
Smash
the
Studios is.
fuck?
There's
Yeah.
3 7-Elevens all on 8th Avenue. It's like more than Starbucks now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because that was like the norm, like seeing a Starbucks every fucking block.
Yeah. And I mean, it made sense like 20 some odd years ago when New York really didn't have like a coffee
Yeah.
hipster thing. It was just like you go to the bodega, or you go to, some place that has just
Some
what's your
sort of
hottest
coffee.
fucking cup of coffee? Is it 300 degrees?
Yeah.
Great, double cup
Good.
that shit in.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. It's it was a barren wasteland.
Yeah.
I like that though.
Oh man, it was
Right?
miserable being like a transplant from Miami where it's
I love getting like a
real
cup of coffee from a bodega and
Yeah.
like it sucks and I'm kind of like expecting it to suck and I'm kind of almost like happy. Like I'm like,
It makes
yeah,
you
And it
feel
was $1.
at home. Yeah,
And it
it's
was
a
$1.
$1.
Right.
it's $1.
like
It's
this big.
1,000 degrees and it's terrible.
It says coffee. It says coffee on the cup.
have a nice day.
It just tastes
Or-
burnt.
I heart New York. I heart
Yeah,
New-
go
for
fuck
your- oh.
yourself.
I heart New York. On the other side, go fuck yourself.
Just
That'd be
about,
such a-
yeah.
That'd be such a good coffee cup for a bodega to have.
Oh yeah.
I miss bodegas. I love going to New York City. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
For the most part. Getting around can be a pain. And there's been plenty of times I've driven through it all. A lot of times.
Mm.
Sometimes I would just be like, I don't want to take the train. I just want to drive my
Yep.
car. And then I get into New York City. I'm like, why the fuck did I drive?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Why'd I do
People
this to myself?
in this town drive like they're animals that got let
Dude.
out of the zoo
It
and got
is
put behind automobiles.
dead serious. Like I remember taking like the Taconic Parkway down, and as soon as I start getting closer to the city, it's just like vroom, vroom. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get in asshole mode now. Like you
Yeah.
literally have to get like
You have to be a jerk, yeah.
you gotta be a jerk.
God
It's
forbid it
aggressive
should start
driving.
Raining.
Aggressive.
God forbid
Yeah.
it should start raining. Then
Oh
all
my
of a sudden,
God.
like nobody
Yeah.
knows how to drive.
Done it. Yeah.
And people are like looking out their window. But you're like, what happened? It's just rain. Like,
Water.
Fucking water.
It's
Can you
scary.
calm down?
it's the word. You could be like trying to get on the FDR, like let's say 96th Street or something.
Uh-huh.
You guys know the entrance there, right? You could.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I used to
very
like
familiar.
take Park Ave up to try to avoid like the other bullshit, and then cut over on 96. But if it was raining, that could take me like 35 minutes just to go from Park to the
Yeah.
FDR.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like the worst
it's
part
a-
about it. And I lived in LA too for a couple years, and I mean that was a shit show too on the highway.
LA's a shit show, man.
but it's
like
not like
it's
New York City.
different though. Yeah,
It
it's
is, dude. It
different.
is.
You're kind of like, yo, this is LA. This is it. I'm in my car. I live in my car in LA. That's how
Yeah.
it is.
I kind of like the drivers in LA more than New York, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, dude. Yes. Oh yeah.
Definitely.
When I moved out there, I was like, all right, so they're not as mean as New York City drivers.
They're not as like
No,
just
man.
selfish assholes.
I would say the whole Northeast, man, has got this like
Oh yeah.
asshole driving attitude. Because you go, Boston's like that too. DC.
Oh, Boston are just vicious.
Yeah, the whole
Just
Northeast.
Vicious.
Yeah.
Vicious, yeah, boss.
Vicious
Just like-
creatures.
Just
Where-
like, I mean,
Oh God.
I mean, you know, it's that subduction zone where
It's
everything's
that South
going
Station.
into the earth to die, and that's what we represent, and it's represented in everything in Northeast Coast culture. It's just
Yeah, Kenny,
just-
it all just
it's just
comes in
squeezing
like
us together. It's just trying to
the
fucking
black hole,
shit.
the
It's
fucking infinite, the finite, whatever the fuck it is.
just crushing that shit into fucking molten rock. Just,
love-
oh God, fucking shit. And then these fucking guys moved to Florida.
dude. Florida's a new breed too, man.
Dude, Florida. Let me tell you, as a person who lives here, let me tell you,
Yeah, you're in
these are
Florida.
the fastest drivers in the fucking United States. It's insane, man. As soon as I'm coming down, as soon as I enter
Yeah.
I-75,
Everyone's
I'm
everyone's
doing like
drag
85.
racing.
I'm
Everyone's doing
driving
NASCAR.
85 fucking miles an
Yes.
hour, and everybody's just like going right past you, man. Like it's insane.
Yep.
It's so true, dude.
It's insane.
It's very, very true.
Yeah.
Yep.
And everyone's
Oh, yeah,
got blacked
facts.
out tinted windows. You can't see
You can't
anybody.
see
You don't know
anybody.
if they're texting. You don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh
Man.
yeah, dude. There's no
I mean,
nothing.
the texting thing is fucking crazy. Like
Oh, for
where I
sure.
live here, we overlook a major avenue, and it's if I'm sitting by the window just having a smoke, and I look out the window,
Oh,
it's
dude,
a
everybody.
frightening number of people who are
Oh yeah.
just.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's fucking scary.
It's fucked up.
It's
It is.
You'd think they
I mean-
wouldn't do that in like such a in traffic and
Yeah.
just in that area.
They're
Yeah,
doing
I
it
mean,
everywhere.
It's nuts.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
over the years touring, I mean, you would see it a lot just driving, especially with
Yeah, man.
with like Brand X, where we're sitting in those sprinters and you're sitting really high up.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
just kind of look down on people, and
Yeah,
you
you're
can
just
see
looking
how
over.
many drivers on an interstate are just scrolling.
Yeah,
through.
going
I
80,
just-
85, and you're like, what the fuck? You gonna look at the road?
yeah, driving next to like a 20-foot vehicle. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's nuts.
It
It's
is.
nuts.
Yeah, it's a new breed.
it is a new fucking breed. Let's see. So we had another question in here. Imperial Triumphant's image look is very cinematic. Even the music videos are like short films. Do you see yourselves branching into other media like comics, novels, or soundtracking
Funny you should
games?
say that. Zachary,
Wow,
would you
wow,
like
wow.
to explain a little?
Yeah. First of all, great question.
Nice.
Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Very good question.
Yeah, we do see ourselves branching out into other media. We are working on this is a little insider treat for those who tuned into DeFonce's metal chat. We are working on a graphic novel
Wow.
to be released this year. I
Dude,
can't say
sick.
too much, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
going to be
it's cool.
fucking wild. And yeah, we definitely have that taste. You know, Steve is an accomplished filmmaker, and he did
Yeah.
direct the last music video that we did. And
Oh,
I think we all
didn't even know
do
that.
have like
3.
we do
Right.
have like
Wow.
a big
Let's go, Steve.
influence of film and
Yeah.
other mediums, and I would relish any opportunity to get into that kind of stuff because it is just another opportunity to express yourself creatively, and it, within the world of Imperial Triumphant, I think these mediums work very well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it really makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
hopefully,
we do love cinema. I mean, we actually, it's a big influence on what we do. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fucking rad. And you
I don't know. I think making a music video is like a great opportunity to express,
it, right?
creative intent. So why not, go 100%?
That's why, dude. Your music videos stand out to me more than dude, your music videos stand out more than like 90% of other bands' music videos.
Without, of
You can-
course.
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's the truth. Like anyone in here who has never watched an Imperial Triumphant music video, just go do it, and you'll
Yeah, they're
see
wild.
exactly what we're talking about here. They are. I mean, you put so much into it, and I love when bands do that. And it's very few and far between that you see bands that really go out of their way, and because it's like a short film that you're doing.
exactly.
I mean,
It's
it
nuts.
just really comes down to just effort, like
yeah.
they're
time.
always a huge pain in the ass, and it's a huge labor of love. But in the end, you have something that stands till for all time, and it's
Mhm.
something that you can either skimp out on
Yep.
or just bust your ass and be really, really proud of it.
Exactly.
I mean, I mean, how many decades now of there have been like music videos have existed, and there's always going to be artists that come along and they take the time and opportunity to do something legitimately creative or at least different and unique.
Yes.
And that's really, you know, especially in this genre of music where things tend to kind of get myopic, and when you see one thing that works really well, you'll just see 1,000 just immediately pop up in like a stack. So it's really like, if you want to branch out, you just have to find out, well, what the fuck am I into? What do I want to do with this 5 minutes that you have these people's attention? And you know, I mean, personally, I've never been moved by watching people pretend like they're playing. You know, I mean, it's never moving. It's especially even with like when you know it's like, this is an amazing band and I love this song, and I'm watching them fake what I know I can see with my eyes them really do at a show or a live concert or a stream or whatever. You know, so it's like, it's, you know, it's great to be in a situation where people are like, well, yeah, we got 5 minutes. Let's make a film.
Yeah.
You know, shockingly, not a lot of bands think that way because they think maybe it's beyond what they can do or beyond the scope of what a band should do. But
yeah,
I mean, at this point, we've had so many decades of this idiom. So
I think it's about 4, Kenny.
Yeah, it's 40 fucking years of music videos. So I mean,
literally.
It's, you know,
I feel like a lot of bands are like,
now.
yeah. And I feel like some bands might be scared, like, oh, it's going to cost too much money. But it's like,
everything costs money.
It does, but it's like you could probably make something, like if you wanted to do a short film for your music video, you could probably make it happen at a low budget. Like you could find ways.
There's always a way. There's always a way
way
to create something cool.
Yeah, it's just,
and
about,
don't be afraid
it's about
to
the intent of your execution. You know, it's a lot of people too are just like, well, I learned how to do this thing. I did this thing. And it's like, well, no, you just learned how to move your body a certain way. Now you got to spend the time actually digging deep. And it's the same thing with making a music video. It's just like, you know, if you only got $500, milk the shit out of that $500. You know, you know,
whatever you can with that 500.
Is a prime example of a guy who thinks like that. You know, it's like,
oh yeah, the first, pretty much all the last music videos we've done, except for like the one that we most recently did, Excelsior, have all been like very small budgets, and we're working with friends and calling in favors and doing everything we can to make it possible, and using as many tricks and trying just to our hardest to just make a quality product for whatever amount of money we have. And if we can do it, you know, someone else can too.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully that influences other bands, because I feel like bands should try to go out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, I love cool music videos. It doesn't even matter the genre. It's just like, if it's creative, I'm into it.
Yeah, and finding people, it's like, well, I want to do this, and finding people who like do that thing well, like really well or uniquely. I mean, like a lot of the guys that Steve has brought in for a lot of the filming projects and stuff, I mean, these are top-notch people, you know.
I mean, clearly you can tell.
You know, and we're lucky that these guys want to work with us, you know, but you have to kind of cultivate that energy and not just settle.
That's the New York soup again, Dan. You know, the New York soup.
Sure. Yes.
We need a camera. We need a camera guy. Oh, we got him. We need an art guy. All right, no problem. Art
that's
director.
Easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
We need a contortionist. No problem. You know?
Easy. Got him on speed dial.
Yeah.
Could you? We had another good question too. Could you tell us more about comics or graphic novels that you guys personally enjoy? If you can't reveal too much on the comic you're developing this year, or novel you're developing this year.
I would say Kenny Grahowski's the man to talk to. I don't really know much about this stuff. But
I mean, I'm a casual at this point. I used to be a collector back in the 80s and 90s, and I mean, I still keep tabs on what's happening with a lot of the major comic releases through podcasts and blogs and things like that. But no, I don't really collect much anymore. Even though I do plan on picking up Astro City. I do want to get into that series. And my wife, Julie, who we were talking about earlier, she just recently picked up Providence, which is like an Alan Moore kind of an Alan Moore thing. I don't think we have it on the wall there. I mean, I have some
stuff
novels
over there
that like, you know, there's like, I have like Bruce Morrison, Grant Morrison, like, you know, Arkham Asylum and shit like that, like some classic stuff. And some random things that I still have left over from years ago, but I just admire the art form from afar, and there's certain artists and writers that I, still really love, like Grant is one of them, and Alan Moore is still one. I at least keep tabs, but no, I'm not going to say like I'm a hardcore comic book fan. Yeah. Like I just recently turned Julie on to Mobius, the Mobius stuff. So she's getting
Mobius is the only one that I know, and this one is really great.
I mean, that's legendary. So,
That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I gave the Zack Snyder movie a shot. I watched it. I watched the whole fucking thing. I didn't do the black and white one. I'm not going to do the black and white one. I don't need to see the thing with the Joker at the end. That's pointless. But, there. That's my. That's all I got. Yeah. That's all I got. That's all I'm going to say about that movie. I'll leave it alone. I don't need awesome. Like a fucking 1,000 messages from fucking nerds who don't even listen to our band complaining that I said something about Zack Snyder.
It's the last thing you need.
Well, I think that I will say this: the new graphic novel we have coming, it is a narrative.
Okay.
So get excited about that because it's going to be a whole world.
And you said later this year.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's in the works.
That's awesome.
And that stays between all of us.
Yeah. No one posts about this anymore. You're not allowed to.
Mums is the word.
Had another good question from David. What are some indifferences you have encountered creating your vision?
Indifferent? What do you mean indifferences?
Or I would.
Or does he mean like differences between the three?
Yeah. I should. Yeah, worded that better. Yeah. What are like the different? Like, did you guys have any like I don't know, maybe difficulties?
Well, I mean, on the last album, I wanted to take a synth solo on every song, and Kenny and Zachary were just both like,
no.
That.
Do you guys ever run into those like situations where like one of you guys want to do something?
I would say that's another amazing thing about this collaboration is that we're just very into listening and hearing each other's ideas out. We'll give anything a chance, and then we'll put our opinion out there. Like maybe that's not a good idea, or that's definitely not a good idea, or hey guys.
And I would say that like what we really benefit from this project is that it's not an ego-driven sort of thing. We really understand the greater good, and we understand that it's all about the music. It's not about personal showmanship.
Yeah.
So like
that's good.
If someone comes in with an idea and it doesn't work, usually
maybe not for them.
But you know what I mean? Like if someone comes in with an idea and it doesn't work, usually everyone understands because it's like at the end of the day, it's about creating the greatest song, not getting all your riffs into one song or whatever. Like we all understand that it's all for the greater good and the best of the song.
Yeah. No, it's good that you guys definitely seem all on the same page.
And all three of us have different things that, we're really good at. And then it's cool because we're able to utilize all of it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I will say this, when Grahowski comes in with a song, it's usually the hardest. Not that I'm indifferent about it or I think it's not as good, of course. It's a masterpiece.
I usually take the chart and I just throw it as soon as I get the chart.
Yeah.
The charts for those Grahowski songs.
This one's from Kenny.
Can end up with a lot of scribbles on them.
No, I'm not taking any calls for 3 weeks.
Is there a main songwriter in the band, or is it really just like all you guys?
All three of us.
Yeah. All three of us, yeah.
And it's nice because it's still pretty collaborative, at this point where, everybody's having input.
Yeah.
I mean, some of our like respective songs, like, like some of the, like when, like for Steve, like something like Alphaville or even, I would even say Rotted Futures is like pretty much his vision, his song, but in the parts that he wrote, like especially like a lot of the drum parts he programmed.
Yeah.
And he programmed like, the way he did it a certain way. I don't know if you want me to reveal that, Steve. I don't know if you care about trade secrets.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, you can reveal it.
Essentially, the original drum part is literally two drummers playing at the same time, so it's an adoption of both parts.
Oh. That's the only way to make something sound like Kenny Grahowski is you have to put two drummers in.
You gotta put two drummers in.
I mean, that's why the groove kind of sounds like it's two grooves happening at once.
Yeah.
But, but at the same time, he composed a song and a drum part that I I really didn't change because he wrote something to how I play. It's like, hey, he'll do something like this. Let me just throw it at him. And a lot of his music, like even Alphaville, like I didn't really change any of the drum parts. You know, it's a lot of what he originally wrote, because he's writing for the ensemble he's in. He's writing for Zach and myself. So even the guitar parts, it's like, even if they're challenging, it's like he's writing for Zach, which is something, like, at least personally, I've always admired about Steve's songs. So they're usually my favorite tunes. My songs I usually I'm not so crazy about, because I go, this is going to be a fucking pain in the ass. But then, you know, what ends up happening, especially like, you know, like you mentioned Gotham Lux before, Steve, and it's like, for me, that's one of my favorite tunes. And it started off as originally like a whole song, but you know, about maybe a third or 2/3 of that song are composed by the band, and it made the song so much better, so much stronger. And all my favorite parts of the song are parts that I had absolutely no input on whatsoever, not even in rehearsal, which is, you know, like the whole bass cadenza into that breakdown. I mean, I didn't, you know, that was just a band thing, and that's a Steve thing. Wow. So, you know, it's like, it's awesome being in a place where it's like, that song was a real learning curve of like, all right, well, from now on, how do I write to find these guys now that I've been touring with them, now they've been playing with them, now that we're getting closer, we're becoming friends, you know, we're doing the thing. It's like, you try to find each other. You don't just keep writing the way you write and then just beat people over the head with your music, you know, like that never really works. And that, you know, you look at all the great bands, and whether it's one guy writing the tunes or it's a band writing the tunes, like, even if they're challenging, nobody's beating the shit out of each other with like these parts. Yeah. You know, they might, because there's a difference between a challenge and a beatdown. And I think a lot of people don't have the discernment to tell the difference between the two. Yeah. You know, and that's a whole other discussion. But, you know, getting back to, you know, the point, it's like, when you're writing for each other, you're writing for your band. You're gonna play if you're lucky, you're gonna play these songs 200-300 times a year. Yeah. For years. Exactly. So you better fucking love what you're playing. Yeah. You better love this song. Dude, because if you're one of the lucky few who make it, you're gonna be singing that song for the rest of your life.
You gotta play that song every show.
And you better fucking love it.
Every show.
Yeah.
You see those big bands who don't like their hits. Oh my fucking, and you see what happens to them. Dude.
Right.
Yes.
I just want to say, I like every song, a Zachary song, Kenny song, Steve song. They all excite me.
Yeah. To be fair, yes, Zach writes amazing music.
Yeah. I'm just.
Thank you.
I enjoy our music, which is I feel, you know, very fortunate to be in that kind of situation in this life. But one thing I want to say about Kenny learning the drum parts, though, is like I didn't program them for him to learn them, though. Like, you know, you write a song for your band. Yeah. You want to be open about, like, hey, you do whatever you want.
You can change this. Yeah.
He happened to go and learn the goddamn thing the way it was programmed, which I was like, holy shit, you know.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah. And you know,
but he liked it though. Yeah, you know what it's essentially, you know what he likes.
Yeah,
like you're right for the most part, right?
We've gotten to know each other musically very well, so we can hear it. Yeah, probably in our heads even, you know. So when
you're writing
it's a great thing. It's really a great thing.
Yeah. I mean, the new song you wrote, Steve, I'm still fairly convinced that you just transcribed drums from one of the jam sessions and just put it in MIDI, and that's the drum part. I'm convinced.
I don't know how to play that one yet.
Nobody does. No, we haven't practiced it yet. We just sent the demo and we're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Okay, this is going to
be nuts.
Do you guys usually write stuff at home first and then bring it to the practice spot?
No, it's all over the map. I mean, it's like
everywhere.
We write shit in a rehearsal together, you know, by playing together. Somebody will send a part. Zachary will say, here's this chart, you know, an actual head of a tune. Learn it, you know, like it'll be something like that. There's all
like a video of him.
Or videos,
oh really?
Videos of him playing guitar, and you know, and then you're like, okay, I have to learn. What's he playing? All right, all different kinds of different ways that we arrive at the final product.
That's rad.
All roads lead to Rome.
Yeah, you guys definitely are. I mean, what do you think the band would continue if one of you guys quit?
Tough question.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'd be kind of weird.
Realistically, it probably would continue, but me personally, I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to play with anybody else other than the two of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, if one of you guys left, like, I wouldn't know even who to call. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It would be kind of
I could just tell you guys like are like essentially like brother. I mean, you guys.
Yeah, we're like
you know
a
what I'm
band.
saying? Like you guys are just from like talk. Because, you know, we've never met in person before. I haven't even seen the band live before, but like just from chatting with you guys for an hour and a half now, I could just like really tell you guys just have this down and you really enjoy each other's presence, working with each other, writing with each other, touring with each other, everything, to where it's like, wow, you know, it's like if that were to happen. Because I have like, you know, one of my bands I work with, Ingested, I've been friends with them for a while now. And they even said to me, like, you know, like a year ago, they're like, yeah, if one of us leaves, the band's done. Because they had like a bassist left and they were like, okay, we can move on from that. You know, they're like a death metal band, you know, so we can. It was hard though, because like they're still friends. And
sorry, I
they
didn't mean to laugh.
No, I know.
I love that.
Like,
If someone left the band is done.
Yeah.
Our bass player leaves.
Well, that was before.
I mean, we could
This is
still
after
probably
the.
play a
I
couple
asked them this
shows.
after the fact. After the fact is, I was like, well, what happens if someone else leaves? Are you guys going to continue? And they were like, no, we would just hang it up. If one of us is like not feeling it anymore or anything, like it we'll probably just hang it up. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
'Cause they've been, you know, with their bassist leaving Brad, it was just, you know, he was in the band from the beginning too. That's a band that's been original members from the start. They never changed. This is like almost 15 years.
Some of the coolest bands, I think, have been all original members, like Rammstein. I just recently learned those are still
they?
the same original members.
Wow. I had no clue. Yeah, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
That is
crazy.
And
they do a lot of business.
That's a big dude.
Those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, the production level that band is on is next level. It's
I love
another level.
I love that band.
Yeah. I've never seen them live before. I really fucking want to.
We were supposed to go.
Yeah,
did you have tickets?
Yeah,
but
it got canceled.
They got postponed.
Postponed.
Don't you love
Ticketmaster? God
don't you
forbid
love that word? Postponed. Don't you love that word? And like,
well, no, because Ticketmaster doesn't want to pay you.
Like, that's not postponed.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to. They don't want to refund. Back,
yeah,
so they just postpone it.
Yeah.
Until you forget about it.
Oh yeah, so I have Rage Against the Machine. I have Rage Against the Machine tickets, and you can't get them refunded. Like I checked like a month ago. They're like, nope, it's postponed. This is the new date. It's supposed to be like in June. I'm like, Rage Against the Machine in June?
Yeah.
How many people?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
How many people? So you mean
June 2030?
Yeah.
Yeah, June 2030.
Let me take a gander over at their social medias and see what they're saying about June.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
So one question I did have that my friend Paul brought up that I forgot to ask, like, what growing up, what were some of your like influences growing up? Like, how did you get more into metal music? What was the gateway into it?
For me, I go back further than everybody in this chat. But for me, for me,
Steve,
the gateway was like probably somebody like Yngwie Malmsteen, you know, like
okay, wow.
Because you know I was into a lot of rock music growing up and a lot of classical music.
Yeah,
my father was very into music and he had this crazy music LP collection of all this classical shit and
that's rad.
Stravinsky and all this really cool music that affected my fucked up brain. But you know,
you're really around. I mean, your dad.
Yeah, so that kind of probably led me to, you know, a guy like Yngwie. You know, he was doing that neoclassical thing, right? You know, and I liked those his old albums, you know, the early stuff. And then then it kind of went to Metallica and Slayer, and then
you start finding out about them, right?
Yeah, then I got into like hardcore and other kinds of weird shit, punk, you know, and then it just keeps going, you know.
Yeah. But that was all early on. I mean, your dad essentially surrounded you with music. Did he play any instruments?
Well, I think he played when he was younger, but not really, no.
Nothing really, yeah. What about you, Zach?
For me, I grew up on like Hendrix and Zeppelin.
Same.
And
Zeppelin.
Like 60s, 70s rock. Sabbath. And it was like the CD era. So like, unless you had like someone like you just like, it wasn't that easy to find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my like like discoveries were just like for a holiday, you know, like someone would give me a Led Zeppelin CD. I'm like, oh, I like Led Zeppelin now. Oh, someone gave me a Black Sabbath CD. I like Black Sabbath now, you know.
Ooh,
And
present.
then yeah, exactly. And then one time my uncle bought me And Justice for All, and I was like, yo, this is so
Hold on.
I was like, this is quite, because I didn't even really know about heavy metal because I'm like 10. Yeah, and I was like, yo, this is very different than Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Like
Completely different.
It's like all my favorite parts of Jimi Hendrix, like the heavy parts that's all I loved.
Yeah.
It's like way heavier.
Did you like it right
And that
away?
record is also like super brutal. So I just got really into Metallica because they're like the best band.
So like right away when you heard that, were you like, I like this, like I'm hooked?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is what I was always liking about all the other, like,
yeah, I just wanted heavier.
When I was like 9 years old, I wasn't listening to like No Quarter, you know, I was just like Immigrant Song, you know, like the heavier one.
Yeah.
No Quarter is my favorite Zeppelin.
No, it's a great piece, of course, but you know, when you don't know anything, you're just trying to get the heavier stuff. Growski's got an interesting story though.
Let's hear it.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I mean, to fast forward to the metal part, like when I started really getting into metal was when I moved to New York, and I was taking a class. I moved here to go to school, and in one of my classes, it was a sight reading class. It was like advanced sight reading for drummers. It's something really, really rudimentary, and let's be real, it was a fake class. It was just a bunch of drummers hanging out, listening to music. It was a bullshit class. Like nobody needed to be in that class.
Getting real stoned.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't smoke yet. I wish I would have. I was still living in the church then. But you know, this guy put a cassette tape of Meshuggah's. It was a you know, like a mixtape of Chaosphere and Destroy, Erase, Improve.
Wow.
Like on like 110-minute tape or whatever. And that was the first time I ever heard Meshuggah. And this is like 2001.
Yeah.
You know, this is like maybe a month.
Both of those albums.
I mean, this is like a month and a half after 9/11. This is like late October, like kind of close to my birthday. So I'm just like, you know, I heard those albums and I was like, fuck, this is like Crimson, but it's not stiff and it's ballsy as fuck and it's old as hell. So why are all my friends who are metal fans, why were they not showing me this shit? You know, why were they showing me all this other stuff that I'm not going to name right now? Because we know what was happening in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you showing me this shit? And, you know, and look, I know I grew up in Florida, but I was not connected to the metal scene down there. Like I had no idea that like Death was rehearsing 10 minutes, 15 minutes from my high school. You know what I mean? Had no idea that the Cynic guys went to the same high school. Had no fucking clue. I wasn't into that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to metal.
Fucking wild.
You know, my dad was more like, you know, he had some Metallica albums. He had some Pantera stuff. He had albums, but he wasn't a metalhead. Yeah. But yeah, it was Meshuggah's Chaosphere and Destroy, Erase, Improve. I left the school that day, went right to Tower Records, fucking bought those CDs. Yep. Probably, I think, now that I think about it, from one of my future employers, because I had two guys that I work with to this day that worked at that store at the time. So there's a very good chance I bought these CDs from them.
That's crazy.
And then like after that, people showed me like Dillinger Escape Plan.
Oh man, yeah.
And then like, you know, and then it was just like, then I did a gig at CB's.
Floodgates open.
Like, like somebody was playing a Bad Brain CD, and I was like, oh, who's this?
Yeah.
And the guy looked at me like, you're in CB's and you don't know who the fuck
know
Bad Brains is.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Walk up the street and go buy as many Bad Brains CDs
now.
And I'm still friends with that guy. He's one of the local sound guys in New York City. He used to do like Trash Bar and all the fucking local clubs here.
Yeah.
CB's when it was still open. So yeah, that was my foray into metal, and where I was like, because before that, like the closest was maybe like Mr. Bungle and John Zorn Naked City. Yeah. And I didn't even like that stuff in high school, to be honest. Like I heard it was like
Naked City,
great record.
I was a really arrogant, ignorant high school kid, and I was like, well, this isn't like Mahavishnu or Stravinsky. This is like, you know, underground music. Like, dude, I was super fucking ignorant in high school. It was pretty sad.
Dude, find me a high schooler that's obsessed with like John Zorn. You know, like that's like
yeah. I mean,
kind of
even in music school, there
I knew
wasn't
about
that
him
many
in high
kids.
school, and I didn't like him.
Yeah.
You know,
it took years.
Definitely
It took moving to New York for me to appreciate that kind of stuff, because then it was like you live in the environment, you go, oh, and this is the clean version of what these guys lived through.
Yeah.
I get why they make the music they make. I think.
Yeah. I think I understand.
I think I'm starting to. It grew on me. But
yeah.
I mean, Mr. Bungle was a little bit faster. Like that was
for sure.
Was like, oh my god! But then after a while, the dust settled and was like, oh man, this shit is amazing.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first when I was younger. I was like, oh, what the fuck? No. And then later on, I get older, I'm like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I thinking back then? Why didn't I like this?
There's so much
shit
like
happens.
that.
There's so much shit like that, dude.
Where you look back and you're like, what the fuck?
fuck?
Why was I not paying attention to this amazing shit?
Yep.
And then I was like, this shit sucks. Why did I think this was good back then?
Why do I have all these albums?
Yeah, then you remember like, why was I listening to this and not this? Like what?
Right.
Why did I like that?
Yeah.
But it comes, it's how it has.
Guns or Naked City, man. I wish I wrote that shit. Like that. I wish that was my band.
Amazing.
If I was gonna realize the irony of what I was thinking in high school, like I probably would have maybe changed my perspective on things, but maybe it was for the best. I don't know.
I mean, thank the gods you didn't, man, because like all of this is why we play the music the way we play it,
for sure. I think
this guy on my shirt, by the way, is a huge influence to me too, so, and
exactly.
He wasn't part of the metal scene,
but he got in later.
He got in a little bit later.
He was proto before it was proto metal.
But one could argue that the metal scene exists on the shoulders of somebody like him. So, it's all connected, right? It's all connected.
It is. Yeah. No, you guys are definitely, and I tell people all the time, like, you never listen to the band. This is the most eclectic, like, metal. There's nothing, I mean, it's definitely obviously in the realm. Like, if you like Imperial Triumphant, you're going to love Gore Guts. You love Krallice. You're going to love those type of bands. But I still feel like Portal, definitely Portal. One of the weirdest bands. But it's like, it's
Portal
best bands.
Dude, I love Portal.
Portal's amazing.
I know, it's insane.
Best bands.
But I'm always just like this. It's next level. It's you're not gonna. You may not understand it at first, but after you give it a few listens, you're gonna get it.
But a lot of bands like Portal and Gore Guts,
they're
kind of like trailblazed the path for us. They came before us.
Definitely.
And I'm listening to some Portal records that come out like, what was it, like 2007, 2000? I mean, not even like 2002. Right? I think they have a record out. Like I'm sure nobody listened to that record in 2002. Like,
they really it was fucking just too fucking weird. It was.
Yeah, they were really like
what?
They're ahead of their time, and so I feel like they kind of opened the gates for a band like us to be a little more accepted with a more open-minded audience.
Yes.
For sure.
No, you're definitely right about that.
And bands like Cannibal Corpse too want to go a little further back, even.
Cannibal Corpse rules.
Because they've never not hit it super hard. No matter whatever.
Yeah.
They do their thing, but it's always just like,
dude, it's so in your face.
Go fuck off.
It's like
amazing.
That's literally Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
Yep. Every record.
Yeah. One tour we were on, we were in Europe. I don't remember. I literally I was just consuming every Cannibal Corpse record. Yeah.
You're going through it. You're going through it.
Every ride drive, Steve's just like
different
ripping through records.
Yeah.
It was hooking me up. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then the TM for that tour and our sound man, Dano and
Pierre, Dano and Pierre.
They found out what Steve was listening to, and they're all like, "You're listening to this shit in the back, and we're up here like." They're like, "Fucking bring this shit up," It was like, so that was always nice too.
Put it on,
because they're more like they were getting in this like some super doom zones, which is great, especially for like long drives and for them to like help them keep saying it.
Keeps you in the zone.
Yeah, so man. It's great for that, but every once in a while they're like, okay, we need a shot of espresso, and we ain't near a gas station, so we need
of course,
couple of CCs.
Yeah, dude, every record that's another band like death metal band. Like every record they come out with, it just hits you in the face. You're like,
I love.
They did it again.
I think I love every album. Yeah, I think I love every album.
Rip, dude.
That is a band who knows themselves.
Yes, yep. And they still crush it live. And now they got Air Grutan. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
get the fuck out.
It's a fucking powerhouse, dude. That guy?
Yes.
That dude can play, huh?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I remember seeing Hate Internal. I only saw Hate Internal once. It was Rivers and Owls on the tour. And I was so stoked to see Hate Internal because I love the band. and I was just like blown away the whole time. I just couldn't look away. I couldn't move, and I was just like, how the fuck, dude, is this dude playing all this shit? Just like
I've never seen it. I want to catch that.
It's
shit.
so intense. It's so
I
intense.
can imagine.
It's just so intense, dude. You feel stressed out watching it, but you love it.
That sounds
the
very
best.
enjoyable.
Like,
to
is he gonna fuck up? Nope.
That's a super aggressive band.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're so for Corpse to pick Eric, get Eric in it is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yep.
So what can we look forward to with some new Imperial? I assume you guys are always writing.
Always.
Always.
Yep.
It's just gonna get weirder, more intense.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Do you think you're gonna continue to have guests on every album?
Yeah, it's a fun part of the process.
I think that's
The
like
collaboration, I think, is a very New York artistic move.
It
Yeah,
is.
we really enjoy having guests on, and we also, for this next album, we already have a list, of some ideas of some guests we'd like to have. So
That's
we're
awesome.
looking forward to it. Yeah,
And plus, you meet
Yeah.
new friends that way. You become friends with it.
and that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you friends with the guests that you've had in the past before getting them, or were they?
It depends on who
Yeah,
you're
or like
talking about. Kenny was friends with Toma and
Yeah.
Trey. And
Okay.
that was great.
Yeah.
And that day that we had, we recorded Japanese taiko drums with
Yeah,
Toma
I remember seeing the video and stuff.
in a fucking Japanese dojo in Brooklyn. It's like what? Okay, but anyway, so
We're doing this.
yeah, we did that, and
Yeah.
we made that all happen, and the whole thing was the real teamwork, and it was amazing. And for me, that was just like one of the greatest days. We hung out, and played drums with Toma.
Yeah.
And then we
Like, how
all
many
went
people can
out.
say
And
that?
we all went out and hung out afterwards. It's just great.
Yeah.
Nice day.
That's fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
Like I remember
But
seeing
that's
that.
New York, man. It's
Yeah,
a cultural
dude.
center where you can. People ask me, "How'd you get him on the record?" I was like, "Send him an Uber," like.
Sent him an Uber and he showed up.
Send him an Uber.
Yeah.
Bought him a slice of pizza.
Yeah. Bought him a slice of pizza. Got him a beer. And he was just down to do it. That was it. That's how it happened. That's rad. I'm definitely. I can't wait to see you guys live. I really can't. It's
It's gonna be great.
Fucking rule. Hang out.
Oh, it'll be fun to
Get
play again.
Get some good coffee.
Yes.
Some good food.
Dallas coffee, hang.
There's some good spots. Yeah.
I'm sure there is.
I'll come to New York too. I'm coming up. I'm actually coming up to New York in May to visit
nice.
family and stuff.
Nice.
So I'll let you know if maybe we can try to set up a day to meet up or something. Maybe.
Definitely let us know.
Yeah. See if I can swing down to the city.
Do dinner. That sounds great.
That would be fucking rad, man. Well, hell yeah, dude. This has been great doing this with you guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, man. I was stoked that you guys were down to do this. Now I know a lot more about all of you and plus the band. So I forget. I'm trying to remember how I found out about the band. Who showed me Imperial Triumphant? Fuck, I don't even know. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it just popped up. I think I might have seen like a video and was just like, what the fuck is this? I like it. So I love just like shit that's just way outside the box. I'm like, I need to listen to this. But yeah, I mean, it's fucking awesome, man. But yeah, until next time, we'll be looking out for your graphic novel later this year. Hopefully a new record sometime next year, I'd assume.
Yeah.
And then
possibly
some fucking touring, some
That would be
shows.
put us to work. Put us to work, Daniel.
I know. I'm almost done with the 2029 tour. I told you.
Oh, beautiful.
It's only a few years away. You guys think it's like so far away?
Yeah, we got a market open up in Saskatchewan. It's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Local promoters guaranteed me solid 50 heads.
Solid 50 heads. Awesome. Let me see who we're gonna do something on Twitch where we go raid somebody, which means we'll take pretty much everyone from here into someone else's stream. So I'm gonna see who of my friends are streaming right now.
Man, the term raid has changed over the years.
Yes, it has. You think they would have
Fuck.
named it something different on Twitch, right?
Yeah,
But
that's a little cross pollination, especially in a medium where tons of fucking gamers exist. How did nobody say timeout? This is already a thing.
Let's go see. Oh man, dude, should we go raid Mark from Chimera? Remember that band Chimera?
Yes.
Mark the singer's on here. I don't think I've rated him before, but
Mark from Chimera.
He should definitely get rated.
Let's go raid
Mark
Mark
from Chimera.
I've never talked to him before. I grew up loving Chimera. I grew up like absolutely loving this band. So I want to do like a surprise raid from his. He does. I don't think he may know who I am, but who really knows? Chimera's not a band anymore, you know.
I mean,
They're not.
Nah.
no. I mean, that's what I was asking. Like, there's still a thing, or is he just like
he's just streaming? I don't know what else he's doing. I don't know if he's doing any new projects. I have
Now he's just Mark.
Now he's just fucking Mark, dude. He does like vocal streams and shit. He's pretty fun. He's a cool dude. Game streams. He's just chill as fuck. But
nice.
I've never actually like introduced myself to him before. So let's go fucking rate him. But again, guys, thank you so much for doing this with me today.
It's my pleasure, man. Thank you.
Stoked for everything to come up. That's coming up.
Dan, thanks for having us so much, man.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Have a good
Definitely.
one.
We'll do it again sometime in the future when the new record comes out and everything.
Hell yeah.
We will.
All right, guys. Until next time. I'll see you.
All right.
See y'all later.
Be well.
Cheers.
Later, guys.
Ciao.
Ciao.